Okay, how is everybody doing? I'm going to put this in speaker view. Actually, just kidding. I'm going to spotlight myself. Okay, cool. Whoa, that is like a big Nicole face. Okay, so my name is Nicole Skinner. I'm a presidential diamond out of Las Vegas, and I've been in the business 3.5 years. And we put together this Zoom because our team gets so many messages about our events. And first and foremost, I want to say we are all public. So you guys can, after this, you guys can follow us. We post where we're at, kind of like the results from certain places and stuff. So it's been really fun to kind of watch my team's adventure on this whole thing. So how this is going to work is I am going to ask them a few questions. You guys are more than welcome to ask questions in the chat because we'll do like a question and answer afterwards, okay? So I'm going to introduce them. Y'all, my team's blowing up my phone. They're so excited to share these tips with you guys. Oh, I'm sorry. I should give you a little bit of background on our team. So we've been doing Expos now a little over a year. We were featured on Pam's page for being one of the first teams, I think the first team, to sell more than 300 wraps at a single expo. I was at that expo. It was insane. And we just got addicted to it. And so that's how we ended up here. Our team this year, this calendar year, has made almost $100,000 in wrap, keto, or expo cash. So there is definitely a world outside of social media, but we use social media still to do what we call, expo season. So I wanted to precurse with that because I feel like that sets the tone. Like, you guys are definitely going to be trained by, in my opinion, the best people at Expos. So my first girl up, she is my partner in crime. I also wanted to, where is she, Selly? Where's our Selly? I'm gonna have to unmute you. Okay, Selly, you're unmuted.
Hi.
Oh, there you are. Okay, I'm gonna spotlight you.
Stop
okay,
that.
so
my face
a little bit about, where is my list? Oh, here it is. Okay, so you guys, just this year alone, Araceli has made over $7,000 in wrap cash just herself. Okay, so Sally, I have a few questions for you if you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
Can you first tell us how you got started with Expos?
I, before it works, used to do like bows and craft sales, things like that. So the way I got started with Expos is Nicole messaged me one day and asked if I could help her out on an event. And I said, yeah, sure. Like, I was scared. So I showed up, and then Nicole was like, I'll be right back. And then she didn't come back. So that's how I did my first event. Where'd you go?
Okay, so just like a sidebar, I saw something in her I don't think she saw in herself. And so sometimes as leaders, we have to kind of push you guys out there. But I think that's such a funny story. So
right,
she got there by accident. Okay, so we would like to know where or how would you go about finding events? Like, if you're a new person and they're like, I want to do this, if there's anyone on here who wants to do it and they don't know where to start, where would you have somebody start to look for events?
Absolutely. The best place to find events is always, to start with, is going to be in your local community. So I know for like in Vegas, we have HOA events. So your homeowners association, elementary schools. And I say elementary schools because for those events, the parents go. And I mean, we want to talk to the parents, not the kids. So just calling and asking, the local PTA member if they have any holiday events coming up, fall festivals, winter festivals, spring fling carnivals, things like that. Different seasons have different events. Or just like farmers markets in your local area will have like vendor events. Basically, just looking around in your community and seeing who you can contact and ask them if they're accepting any vendors.
Okay, I love that. So what I want to know now is, because you've been doing events for a while, a little over a year. So I know like our team has like categories for events and we call them tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. Can you kind of share with everybody what you would consider like a tier 1, I'm first starting out event, what a tier 2 event would be, and like what would be like whole nother level, like tier 3? What would that be like?
Okay, so for a tier 1 is what I just described. It's typically either free or up to like $50 to participate in these events and their local community events. So a tier 1 would be like a spring fling, a farmer's market, or a HOA event. A tier 2 is a little bit more of an investment. It's, I would say you would get your team more involved. Typically, I would say maybe it's like $100 to $200. And it would be like a local bridal expo or a local health and wellness. They have a lot of like health runs, heart runs, whatever event that's funding money. They typically have vendors come in. Those types of events are a little bigger. You're now speaking to a few hundred people. And that would be a tier 2. And then a tier 3 is an investment. So that one is a lot more involved. That one might be a few $100s. You might travel to a different state depending on what town you're in. They would be like bridal events. They would be health and wellness, parenting, mommy and me events. And those typically you are talking to a few thousand people, and it's a lot more fast paced, a lot more involved, and a lot bigger of a booth. So it'd be a more extensive setup.
Those are my favorite.
Those are fun.
But, you know, just as like a sidebar, like Araceli and I started out with like, actually my very first event was for a homeowners association. And so I have a picture, I'd have to find it for you guys, but I have a picture of kind of what that booth looked like. And I know that Araceli's done a few of the smaller ones. Plus, like you said, before you started It Works, you were already doing events. So could you tell everybody kind of like I said, if they're first starting out, what would that first like event look like? Like what maybe would you bring for setup? Like what would that look like?
So thankfully with our BBK, the business builder kit, you get what you need. You would bring in for that first event, green samples if you have them so that they can taste the product. Wraps on hand so you can get that wrap cash is my favorite thing to make is wrap cash. And anything that you have, like I always say, speak on what you know. So my first events, I brought in the products that I used, and that was the greens. So I would mix it up like in a pitcher, like a big pitcher, and then you bring in sample cups so they can taste it. And the probiotic was always my favorite. So empty containers. I would have my empty box of probiotic with me. I would use my business builder kit box as a display, and I would have the wraps. When I first got my business builder kit, I sold the wraps right away. So I knew that my auto shipment, I wanted wraps because I could get that wrap cash right away and pay for what I was buying at the time, which was the probiotic and the greens. So the tier 1, the smaller events, it's really simple. You just need the basic things that you have and to speak on what you know. Am I going on to like different events, like how to set up the other ones?
Oh no, I have one other question. Okay, because we've all been newcomers, and there are a few questions in the chat. So actually, I will ask you those first. Is that okay? Okay. Do you do events that only accept cash?
I have, but I don't. I do cash or card. The Square app or the square.com, you can get a little card reader for your phone for free to sign up. They just take like a percentage. I think it's like 0.275 or something of your sale. It is so worth it. And it goes automatically into your bank account the next day.
Okay. And then somebody else asked, what are some items that you bring to an event like a tier 1?
Tier 1, I bring, I always make sure to ask if they're providing a table and chairs, because if not, you want to sit down at some point. I mean, I don't, but sometimes you do. Excuse me. Snacks for yourself. Bring in some jerky and some water because you're going to get thirsty from talking. And jerky is, I mean, it's keto friendly and it's like a high protein snack. So it keeps you feeling full. Things that I bring in as far as for the table display is you can go to like Dollar Tree, has really good black and green examples, or you can steer away from it completely and go to Amazon. I have like a sequence tablecloth that I think I paid like $20 for. And from there, if you ask your upline for empty bottles, more than likely they will have them. You can bring in those, just put in like some rocks, make them heavy, glue the lids down for displays. But honestly, what you need is yourself, excitement, and the products that you have on hand that you use.
Okay, cool. Somebody else asked, I don't know how to shut the sound off on my computer, but somebody else asked, are you keeping track of all the people you're selling to? So I'll actually answer that question. Our team does a sign up that Araceli designed. It is she did such a fantastic job. And I know, I'm like, I don't have one on me because it's in the expo box, But she has like a sign up sheet that people can sign up on, and it just basically has name, phone number, and if we make a sale with them, like Square sends us their info, but if they use cash, then we have them sign up on it, okay? All right, my last question before we jump over to Jacqueline is, what would be your best advice for a newcomer?
This is my favorite one, my favorite question ever. My best advice for a newcomer, for anyone really, is remember why you started, what made you excited, why did you join? That is your best story, your experience with the products, your personal testimonials, any of that is your best advice. Like, you're excited, you joined this business. You need to share that with others and share that excitement as to why you joined. What is this business going to do for you? Just being excited on your own personal results is going to be the best thing that you can have. And don't be afraid to say, I'm not sure, but let me get that information for you. You don't have to know everything when you start. That's why you have a team. That's why you have team pages, business pages. We can answer those questions for you. So don't be afraid of any question. Just go for it.
I love that. So we're going to hear from Araceli again in a little bit, but thank you so much for that. I am going to jump over to Jacqueline. Where's Jacqueline at? Let me unmute her.
Hi.
Oh, there you are. Okay. Okay. Hi, Jacqueline.
Hi.
Okay. So first, I just want to say, Jacqueline is so nervous, you guys. She's so if you're a shy person, you can do events too. Jacqueline is our top, the top expo earner on our team. And she earned $7,500 this year alone. And our expo season usually runs about like half of the year. So that's just like cash in her hand. So Justin and I are super proud of her. I worked a few events with Jacqueline. She's awesome. So don't let her shyness fool you, because she is a fierce woman. So I have a few questions. Araceli talked a little bit about some of the smaller events. Jacqueline's done mostly big events. So I want to ask you, you have done one of those big events. How have you overcome your fears, your personal fears, and what are some of those fears?
Okay. I'm a very shy person. I'm like literally shaking. I'm probably going to throw up. So if you're a shy person and you think you can't do this, first off, girl, you can. You just have to find out your why. And that's how I seriously get over my fear, because when I'm at these events, I start freaking out. I start like hyperventilating, my body's shaking. And then everybody comes in and I'm like, okay, you are doing this for your daughter. She is your why. Don't make me cry. She is my why. And every time I think, okay, I can't talk to somebody, or I'm like nervous or scared, I literally like, I'm doing this for her. This is, if I don't get my butt out there, if I don't go talk to those people, if I don't, try and figure out what best product is for them, then I'm basically failing her. And that's how I see it. So that's how I get over my fear.
Oh my gosh, Jacqueline, every time she talks about her daughter makes me emotional. I wanted to say this though. Jacqueline and Nick did an event, and it was the first event I think we did by ourselves without my husband. And it was so incredible. Like, Jacqueline asked if we could all pray together. And it was the first time I had ever prayed before an event. And it was the best event I have had in so long. And so I just wanted to, I don't know that I ever told you that was so impactful for me, but it definitely was. Okay. So we talk a lot about fit bars, and I don't know if you guys are new to the business or if you're on any of the pages or anything, but Cami Corporate talk a lot about the fit bar, and we tried that out this time last year, and I want to talk a little bit about that. So what exactly is a fit bar, and how would you set that
up? Basically what a fit bar is basically anything that one of like our most popular products that people want to sample. So we usually bring the collagen now, and our collagen, our ketones, of course, our greens, of course, our keto coffee. And then sometimes, depending on what type of an event it is, so if it's more like a healthy fit event, of course, we bring our shake. So we bring all those, and how Araceli was saying that we usually, bring a big old pitcher, or however it is that we need to sample those products. So we either bring shakers, pitchers, at one of our last big expos in Canada, we got one of those big old cases from like, like the hotels where you like, they give like free water. So that was really awesome.
That event was so cool. Okay, I know. Okay, so I'm going to go a little bit off script. Can you talk to them about what doing a 3-day international event was like?
Oh my gosh, it was
off script.
So I'm used to just doing like a little 4-hour event, but that huge event in Canada was, first off, I've never been to Canada before, so just driving around there was pretty crazy. We had to go back and forth because we kept forgetting stuff at our Airbnb. But it was really cool. There were just so many people, all the brides there, all the, mother of the brides, the grooms, everybody like that. And we just made sure that we brought like so much extra stuff that way people could sample, take home little goodies. And then it was just crazy. Like I can't even, I don't know, I can't explain it. It's just our feet hurt after those 3 days. We were exhausted, but you just had to keep bringing the energy every day because, you have to bring that same energy that you had on the first day. You have to have it for the last day because you don't want you just looking all tired and exhausted and people are like, oh, are you tired? So you better go get some of that keto energy.
Right? Oh my gosh, that was crazy. And then we're going back. So I'm really excited. So that is like one of my favorite events for sure. Okay, so what is your best advice for somebody who might be interested in just going big, like going to a big event that has a bunch of people, and that they might have to invest some money? Like, what would be your best advice for
them? For a big event with you investing money, I would say definitely stock up on your wrap rewards. Go sign up as many LCs as you can. Go get those wrap rewards, those keto rewards, and bring all the samples that you can so people can buy goodie bags from you to try and make up the money from that. So whether you be selling wraps, keto energy, collagen, greens, all that good stuff, that way you can start making your money back. On the same time, people get to try the products, take them home, try it with their friends, family, and then make sure you are getting everybody that comes to your booth information down. So make sure if they come over, have them do a raffle, get their information down. That way you have as many leads as possible.
Oh gosh, I love that advice. There was no one there to tell us that. And there were so many events where because we did all trial and error. And so when we were first starting, we would be behind the booth, like behind the table, and it's kind of difficult to talk to people. And like I said, I know Jacqueline said that she's shy, but I've definitely seen her get out of her comfort zone, get out from behind that booth, bring people in. And so I want to thank you so much. I know this is it was super scary. I'm so proud of you. Good job. We have so many people that are rooting you on. See, you're the cutest. You're amazing. They're obsessed with you.
Thanks.
Somebody asked a question, how do we determine Expo season? So for our team and it looks different for us than it looks for you guys. But when we first started, we were doing small events, and we still do. Like, you're going to hear from Jaleesa in just a second, and she did a local holiday event. So we're still doing all of them. Like, our team will, I feel like, do almost anything to make money. But Expo season for us is between January to, what would you say, like April? So like January to April, and then like September to like the beginning, like that's basically Veterans Day. Yes. And so that would be our Expo season. But I say that with a disclaimer because we travel. Jacqueline's been to several different states. We obviously went to Canada. My husband and I have been all over the place. So everybody who's speaking today has traveled. So there is that potential, which I love, and you get to experience some fun stuff. And it's been a good time. So thank you so much, Jacqueline.
You're welcome.
Let me find Jaleesa. Okay. Get her. Where are you at, girl?
Hi.
Oh, there you are. Okay, so Jaleesa has some fun topics. She's going to talk about pushing your comfort zone, making an impression, and then we have a few questions about making the sale. So, okay, first question. I wanted to say this year, Jaleesa's made $4,610 on Expo season. Okay. So I would say that when we first started thinking about like people to kind of start like an expo team, Jaleesa was like one of the first people. She is just like, you have a comfort zone? I'm not really sure. So I want to talk, and that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about really getting out of your comfort zone. How do you personally push your limits? Like what are some action steps that we can give people to get out there and actually like push their limit once they're actually at the event?
Okay, so I do have a comfort zone. Actually, the first time I did a show, it was kind of like Araceli. Nicole's like, hey, do you want to do a show? And I was like, okay. So it wasn't a tier 1. I think it was a tier 2, maybe tier 3. I'm not sure. It was a really big event. And I had all this expo stuff. And I was so nervous. I got there 2 hours early. 2 hours early. Who does that? I couldn't even set the stuff up. I had to go and like go to the bathroom and check my face, my hair. And I had to eat breakfast because I forgot to eat. And so I was so nervous. And when they finally opened, Araceli came. She was obviously not early like me, but she was like ready to go. So we set up and Nicole's like, oh yeah, so I'm gonna come later. So she never came. Well, she did. She came like super later when she got keto coffee so we could try it and everything. But I was so nervous. I wasn't ready for it at all. I was a stay-at-home mom, but I was a stay-at-home mom who didn't talk to anybody. So I really didn't have that interaction thing. Like talking to people was definitely not my thing. I was like pretty much a homebody. And so what I did was I started going to grocery stores, and especially Trader Joe's, because there's older people in the morning, so they're super friendly. And then at night, there's like kind of meaner people, the people who just want to get in and out. So I like went different times, and I would go and I would talk to strangers, and I'd give myself a goal. Like, you have to talk to at least 10 people. You have to say, hey, I'm Jaleesa. Nice to meet you. Like kind of bring something up. Oh, it's early, or it's cold out, or gosh, it's so hot. Like just find a way how to talk to somebody, and hopefully maybe you can bring up the business. But I set a realistic goal, and I would do that every single time I went to the grocery store. So I was able to kind of jump out of my comfort zone and get more comfortable with talking to strangers. So I definitely think that doing things that are not normal, like don't just beeline to the cashier to check out. Walk up and down every single aisle. Like when you see a parent who's struggling with a kid, like say, oh, hey, I've been in that boat, like help them out, or ask a stupid question like, hey, so do you know anything about this new stuff? I'm trying to, when I was like doing this like gluten-free thing, like I didn't know anything about it. So when I went to the healthy section, there's somebody there, I was able to say, hey, what should I start with? So just find something that you can talk to and start talking to people, talk to every single person that you see, go to the park, just anywhere that you can go and actually talk to somebody. That's how you kind of push yourself out of that comfort zone.
I was like, can't unmute myself. Okay, cool. Okay, so Jaleesa and Araceli together have done some pretty crazy things, and I would love for you to share what are some of the craziest things you've done at an expo?
Oh, at an expo or going to an expo?
Either or.
Okay, so I think my favorite and like most craziest story is when me and Araceli were going through security, and we're super hungry, we're kind of early, let's go get some food. So decided that we wanted to rap live. Did I freeze?
No, you're good.
Okay. So we wanted to rap live, but we didn't have tank tops with us. All of our fab wrap was checked at the front desk. So we didn't have any fab wrap or anything. So we asked the restaurant if we could have some saran wrap because, they all have to cover their things. Anyways, we got saran wrap, and we went into a bathroom and we went live, and we rapped live in the bathroom of the airport. And I don't know. I think that was so crazy because we were super loud. Everybody who came in, listened to us, giggling and talking to Facebook pretty much, and answering questions and talking about this crazy rap that we're putting on. And so I thought it was kind of crazy and cool.
That definitely hypes you up right before you go to a big event. And two, when we're going to these big events, we generally rap live. And so even like at Canada, like we had like specific wrap times to go. And we started doing that because we really wanted to like push that comfort zone. And so wrapping live while you're there is an amazing way to not only push your comfort zone, but to get people to ask questions, because they're like, what is this person doing? Don't be afraid to use your voice, like literally yell, you know, to get people's attention, pull them into the booth. So I know we've done some crazy stuff just to like get people to kind of like come to you, you know, like you gotta kind of I feel like we gotta herd them, you know, like when you're at such a big event, you have so many people, you gotta like bring them in, you know? Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about impressions, because Araceli talked about some of the smaller events that are more intimate. Jacqueline kind of talked about like the overall, like kind of getting ready, making sure you have a fit bar. But what I want to talk about is, I feel like one of the things that people worry about the most when they're doing an expo, how do you capture and make an impression with somebody in such a small frame of time? Because you have like what, like 30 seconds? So can you kind of talk a little bit about that? Like, how do you make an impression in such a short time?
So I usually try to wait until there's like a group too, so that you have a little bit more time. But honestly, like you have to bring your personality out. Like you can't like be super cold and rigid because people aren't going to want to talk to you. You have to be yourself, like show people who you are, be loud, do something crazy that makes people like, catch your eye so you can bring them in. But then you're like, when you're talking to people, you really need to find a way to connect with them. We talk about all the time in our team connecting with people on social media. It's, what is it, the 3-3 rule? So if you can't find something on their social media that you have in common with, then you should be friends with them. Same type of thing in an expo. Like find that thing that you guys have in common, because realistically, you have something in common with everybody. Whether it's, I don't know, my things are, I love donuts. I talk about donuts with everybody. And not just like the Krispy Kreme donuts, like those crazy, outrageous 1,000 calories of just sugar on top of your donut type of thing. So everybody loves donuts. Everybody likes, I don't know, traveling, talk about traveling. I connected with a lot of people, specifically in Canada, actually, was everybody out there was super into health and like gyms and stuff. So I connected with a lot of people talking about the gym that I go to specifically. It's a heated yoga place, and that's all they do is all heated classes. And everyone was like, wait, what? Like, what is that? What is heated everything, heated spin, like all this stuff. And so I was able to connect with people that way, but you have to be able to find a way how to talk about it, so when I'm sitting in front of our fat fighters or in front of our keto bar, it's like, yeah, so I take fat fighters because I like donuts, and I don't know about you, but I like donuts. So I'm going to pop these things every single time I take a donut. And sometimes it's like 3 times a day. Actually, that's Saturday. It's only Saturday. I'm going to be real. It's only Saturday. I eat 3 donuts a day on Saturday. It's cool, but I have those fat fighters. So I can connect with somebody. Like somebody's not going to be like, oh, I don't like donuts. They're going to say, oh, I like cheesecake, or, oh, I like, brownies, cookies, cake, like stuff like that. People are going to connect with you. So as long as you can find something that you can connect with them, then you're going to be able to make that connection. And when you make that connection, be like, hey, I'd love to talk to you more about this, whatever it is. Can I add you on social media? So that way you can connect with them outside of the event.
I love that. I hope you guys are writing that down, because that is so gold. Like I've seen Jaleesa in action, and she can I've worked a lot of events with everybody, but I would definitely say that like being able to herd that group together and talk to people in like in a large groups has been definitely beneficial. They have tons of questions. So I'm going to actually split up some of the questions between you and Araceli. I don't want to freak out poor Jacqueline. So you guys don't mind, I'll split them up between you guys. So Jaleesa, I have one other question. It looks like it's been asked too. They want to know, how do you close the sale, both for a retail and a loyal customer? So how do you personally close the sale, and maybe what are some things that you say?
I actually really like to use the event specifically as a way how to close a sale. Like, hey, so I have an event special. It's our loyal customer program. You get 40% off, so give them an incentive to actually buy at the place. but also, you know, like you're giving away samples, like you're giving things away. So some of the events, like you kind of want to gauge the crowd, like bring the samples in a little bit, because some people are just, they're like grabby, they want everything, you know. So at some of the events I do, I tend to keep the samples closer to me, and that's another way how to close a sale. Like I have a couple samples here I can give to you while your stuff is getting shipped to you. You know, I did keto coffee at an event recently. This lady actually was super into keto coffee. She loved our keto coffee. She came back three times. And I was like, yeah, I really think that you should just get some ordered for you. And she's like, I know, I don't want to wait for this. So I gave her some cups or some packets of coffee so that it was, you know, she didn't have to wait for it. But definitely, yeah, I would say bring up the event special, which is just our loyal customer program.
So I know somebody asked, like, do we do goodie bags or grab bags? So here's the thing, like, so when we say, you know, we're giving out samples, Jacqueline kind of talked a little bit about our Fit Bar, and like our Fit Bar has like the coffee and the collagen, and like they're getting like a little tiny, like 2 ounce, like little cup. So they're able to taste it and try it right then and there. For me personally, I've been doing the Expos the longest, and I will say that having the Fit Bar at big events, even at small ones, even at the HOA ones, just sampling like the greens, have been a complete game changer. I believe that we have sold more product, not just on hand, but with LCs, by being able to let them try it. Okay. Now this is the same thing. Like when we were doing, when we were like full force, my husband and I doing facial parties. That was the thing. Like we were going double, we were doing the facial parties. Like people want to try it and taste it and feel it. And so I don't care if you're doing a small event at your kid's school. Go sample those products. Use your auto ship, okay? I know that everyone who's talking on here, their auto ship is at least 1 bag of wraps and a product that they either take or sample. So I 1000% stand behind, you know, having an auto ship. And if you force it to be either keto coffee or wraps, that forces you to sell that stuff to pay for your auto ship. So I think it's important to, in my opinion, to have some sort of like sample bar. And so I love that you said that, because I think that sample bar, wrapping live, like those are all ways that we've been able to sell so much product, like on hand. Okay. So I'm really, really glad you said that. As far as the goodie bags or swag bags, we sell those. And I actually saw somebody, I believe it was Lori Conway, they're doing like a build your own sample bag, which we're going to try that at our next one. So I'll let you know how it goes, but it looks like it's going to be awesome. And did you do that at your last event?
Yeah, I did that at the last show, and it was gold. Everyone was like, oh, I could try all this. I don't have to like buy a whole thing of it. Like, yeah, you can pick whatever you want, and we'll just figure this out, you know? I think that keto coffee was like super, super big, and I had it to sample. So I think that's why I sold so many.
Yeah. So when you do your sample bags, it's like one sample bag they basically make a $25 sample bag. Is that how they're doing it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So please, by all means, you guys, like if you are looking at your auto ship and you're like nervous about, you know, committing to that, because I know I have a lot of people who said that they're new, I would definitely put stuff on there that you can make sample bags and be able to sell them, because having that cash in your hand is so important. So that was a really good question, and I'm really, really glad we touched on that. A few people, okay, so if you have a booth at a big expo, how do you get their contact info? So like Jaleesa kind of talked about Jaleesa is so great at getting them to add her on Facebook right then and there. And that is so key, because not only do they like see you right then and there, but they see your face. Also, one other thing our team does that nobody's mentioned yet is we get little, what are they, stickers from Vistaprint. Araceli is like our master queen of that. And she put our face on them, and they go on every single sample that leaves our table. So they have our name, our picture, our phone number, our social medias. That's also been a game changer. So for sure. Okay, let me see. I have one other question. For you, what do you think are the items that sell the best at the expos you've done? Any, like from big to little, or little to big?
Definitely keto coffee. Greens are always huge. Recently, I think that like keto energy is like getting a little bit bigger, especially because I mean it's energy. Who doesn't need energy? And then I have a lot of success with facials. Something about doing a facial and explaining to them how easy it is. Like, grab a glass of wine, read a book, watch TV, like it's 45 minutes and your face is going to feel amazing. Like, it's just super simple. And I think that gets people excited because it's doing something for them.
I love that. Jaleesa, I want to thank you so much. You guys, it's December, and this past weekend, she made over 350, what was it, almost $500? Almost $500 in keto and wrap cash at a local holiday event. So I would definitely say, like, the holidays are still the time. Yeah, and she paid $10 to get there. So Jaleesa, I want to thank you so much for answering some of our questions. I'm going to hop back over to Sally because I have a few questions for her. And then we'll just. Hi. Okay. Yeah, so that's the sticker we're talking about. Can you kind of push it to the screen so they can see? Perfect. Okay, so you see how it has her picture, her name, her Facebook, her Instagram, and a phone number. Like, when people leave our booth, they leave with our information. Like, you're not buying anything without a way for us to follow up with you. And that is the key to all of this. I'm going to go over follow-up in a little bit, but I have a few questions for you, Sally, because we've been doing them together for a pretty long time. So I wanted to actually ask, can you describe what you take to a setup? Like, I saw some questions in there. People want to know, what does it look like? Like, banners, like cut, like, what does it look like? Can you paint a picture for them?
Like, do you want tier 1, tier 2, tier 3?
Let's talk, well, we kind of talked about the,
like basically, I'll work on it.
Just so, like a basic.
Smaller event, what I'm gonna have with me, I use a rolling case just to make it easier to carry with me. But I'm gonna have the products that I'm gonna sample out. I'm gonna have the products that I personally use. Like I had mentioned before, the probiotic, I can honestly say it is my absolute favorite product. I will always have that with me, and that's something that's personal to me. Excuse me. I will have the shake as well. My personal favorite products are shake, greens, and the probiotic. I always make sure that I have those 3 with me. From there, I have everything else that I'm gonna either sample out. I will have wraps. I will have facials. I will have things to make sure that I can sell. The keto coffee, things like that. But as far as like things that are unconventional, like I mentioned before, snacks and water, and just your display, making it eye-catching. If you're doing a bigger event, if you have banners, I bring those. I will bring different levels. If I'm gonna have a bigger table to set my products up so that if, the wraps are here, it catches your eye, things are different levels. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm actually pulling up a picture from our team page. So yeah, I'm gonna pull up a picture so that you guys can see like what she's saying, because I saw the question in here, like, well, what do they look like? So a lot of people are asking, like, how exactly do we get involved and start getting involved in the events? Araceli talked in the beginning of, and this is our path, and this is what we've done. So yes, in the beginning, I literally called every single homeowners association in my area, and that is how we got started. And then what happened is that, and this same method, correct me if I'm wrong, Sally, but this same method works for social media. If you are on your game and you present yourself in a professional manner, people will refer you. And that's what happened to us. I started doing HOA events, and then somebody referred me to a little bit of a bigger event, and that's the one I made Sally come do. I would say with me, but really do. She made such a great impression that the organizer of the event then called me and said, hey, I know a booth here. Like, all the booth organizers, they all know each other. And so your presence, wherever you are, social media, it doesn't matter, it has to be so strong. We do a big event every year, and this is what really kicked off the concept of selling massive product for us, or selling product, period. But they found me, they Googled me, they basically put it, somebody had a booth somewhere, but they couldn't make it. So they Googled, It Works, Expo, somebody, and I popped up. I have no idea how, but it's because, I was posting on social media, oh, I have a booth here. And so when they search us, it's like word of mouth. And that's how blitzing works, you guys. That's just how business in general, that's grassroots business. Mm-hmm. And so we never really had to go out and find anybody because we made the small events worth it. The schools, I know I had a great we have a great relationship with our kids' schools. And so all the PTA people, they all talk, you guys, they all know each other. If you come and you make a good impression and you have a good time and you provide a good service, and it's not like please don't go to a school event and blow up a big picture of people's stomachs. Like that will not go well. Go to a school event and bring greens chews and hot, keto coffee and chocolate greens and really gauge where you're going, because that is what's going to make a difference. And I will tell you, this team of people does such a fantastic job representing our company. And that's really how we got involved, by word of mouth, but some other ways. Sally, what are some other ways? Like if a person, let's say they don't have homeowners associations, like where could they find, like if you were to help somebody like new to our team find an event, like how would you help them? I think that's really what people are looking for.
I sat down at my computer with Google Maps and I typed in elementary. And I wrote down the names of schools in my area within my radius. And then from there, kept expanding. And I wrote down, I don't have my notebook with me, the name of the school, who I called, and if I left a voicemail or if I emailed them, and so on. And I just went down the list. You cannot, there's no magic way. You need to put in the legwork. I called every single school, and then I contacted and wrote down, like, I don't know, Miller Elementary, spoke with Patty, PTA president, here's her email. And I sent her an email. And then I'll follow up with it and saying, if you don't have any events at this time, please, keep me in mind. I would love to come out and be a vendor for one of your events. So on and so forth. I went just down the list. From there, if you go to Facebook events and you go into like a calendar and see what's in your area coming up next month, the following month, anything that's a few months out, call them and ask them, are you accepting vendors? Do you still have space available? If so, how much? What does it entail? And then from there, you just got to call. You got to look for it. No one is going to show up to you until you start doing these events. I still have voice messages from people in Kansas, I have the East Coast and some in California asking me if we're interested in doing vendor events because of the impression. Cami had mentioned it in one of I want to say it was at Green Carpet, but the second you put on any It Works gear, any It Works badge, even a button, you are representing this company. You are representing It Works, and it is up to you to leave a good impression. If that's at the grocery store, if that's at a restaurant, or if that's at an event, because people are going to remember. I've had people approach me saying, well, I didn't have, a very good taste in my mouth with this company because of so-and-so or something that happened in the past. It is up to all of us to represent this company and make sure that we're leaving a good impression so that people will seek us out.
I love that. It is so true. We are our own representation. So somebody asked about how we split potentials. So like I said, Sally has this really awesome spreadsheet, like Word document she made for us. And our team, we really haven't come across a single issue. What we do is let's just say, I'm going to use Sally as an example. I'm at the booth. Araceli walks up to me and starts talking to me, and she's like kind of on the fence. She's not sure. She wants to, she wants more info, or she wants to sign up for our raffle. So she'll write her information down, and then next to her name, I will write my name. And then if multiple people talk to Araceli, we just basically split those pages evenly by the people who are there, unless we wrote our name next to it. And for us, it's an honor system. I'm incredibly blessed that I have the leaders on my team are very honest people. We have not had a single issue. But if we had a potential that we were like, oh man, this person's awesome, and we talked, I'll write my name next to it. But what I also love about creating that team environment, and this is kind of where leadership comes into play, is knowing your team's strengths. I know that if somebody is, and listen, we're all, most of us are parents. So if somebody's backed up, if we're going to talk anything about going to the bathroom, I'm going to send them to Sally, because that's she can close any kind of greens, probiotic, any of the cleanse, any of those combinations, that's her strength. If I am, if the team knows I've been on keto for a long time, if they want the nitty gritty details of,
have you met Nicole?
Have you met Nicole? So, but you should be able to, part of growing as a person and growing in this business is being able to gauge personalities. And so we can tell when a person walks up, I know the team I'm working with, I know what their strengths are. So you can tell.
Our company is one team, one mission, especially with your own team, even sidelines. it's not a cutthroat environment. If I know someone wants to know exactly details and sugar, alcohol, whatever, fiber, something, I play the game called Have You Met Nicole? And I pass them right along to Nicole. Or if Nicole's not there, I know that my distributor, DeCarmen, is the same way. She's very green. Have you met DeCarmen? And she's going to give you that information. She knows that. If someone wants right now, give me the information, fast paced, let's go, send them my way. I will rein in a crowd of 1,000 people saying with my loud voice, which is why it's gone right now, is because of events in Texas. I will bring in the crowd. I have no shame. I'm sorry. When I started this business, I was at 235 pounds. I will rap live. One lady told me my before and after didn't look like me. And I raised my shirt right then and there. Do you want to compare stretch marks? Because I've had 2 pregnancies. People know that about me. Nicole knows that if you need someone like right now, I am short, I need someone to go. Put me in, coach. I'll go. Let's go. I'll be live. Let's do it. And that's just, you need to know your team. You can't compete with your team. You can't take from your team. You should be able to share and know that the best way, like that customer who wanted that information, more than likely, I'm not going to be able to close them. I know that Nicole will. And Nicole knows that if she gets someone who has not pooped in a week, I'm your girl. I will talk about poop all day. And you can send them my way and I will be able to close them. Like, you need to be able to one team, one mission it. It's not cutthroat within your own team.
Yeah.
Don't take from your team.
Definitely gauging strengths. Somebody asked, what do you say to people who walk past? Like, what's your pitch? I want to mention, Araceli and DeCarmen went to Texas and cleaned house. Y'all, they sold 500 wraps, $5,000. I'm sorry. You made $5,000, or am I right? $5,000 in wrap cash. I'll tell y'all what they did. They went out before the event even started and talked to people. Can you, I know we are going to be over an hour, but that's fine because this is such good info. Can you talk to them a little bit about like really pushing that comfort zone and going out and making $5,000 in a freaking weekend? Can we talk about that, please?
It was amazing. So the lines, typically for big bridal events, especially in Texas, the line starts lining up hours before the event. So we got there, we ran in, especially because we're both traveling. We both weren't from that area, and we split up. The Carmen got, and another distributor of ours, Carmine and Destiny, got the first expo, I got the second one, but we split up those duties, and my husband was with us, so they were setting up. While they're setting up, I ran into that line, and I spoke to everyone. My favorite line is, who's the bride? Can I just tell you how many husbands raised their hands because they didn't realize the question? They just said, what? I'm like, you are going to be beautiful. If you could please send me those pictures of that wedding. I am so interested in your bridal dress. Like, your wedding dress, what are you going to wear? And just making them laugh right then and there. I will take my phone. Oh, here it is. I will take my phone and be like, I need you right now. And I will pull up my Facebook and go into search. I'm like, I need you to search yourself, please. And I need you to add me as a friend. I'm public. You have an amazing energy. Things like that right then and there, opening it up, find yourself, please, and add me, is how I get the conversation going. But because of that event, we had, I want to say, at least 3,000 to 4,000 people, if not more. Nicole knows the exact number of these events. I lost track because I was speaking to everyone. I would step back, I would gather them up and ask who the bride was and speak to them about their day. And more than likely, these events, it's going to be the bride, the mother of the bride, the new mother-in-law, and the husband, who is there very reluctantly. And he is just not happy to be there. But that's why when I walk out, I'm like, so, wraps right here, who wants to look great, keto energy, sir, you're gonna need this. And they start laughing and they love it because I explain what this is and what this is all at the same time. And when they look at the wrap and I tell them that it tone, tightens, and firms, they look at it and they're like, oh, like, it'd be great. Obviously they're not gonna be like, here, honey. They just look at it and I'm like, sir, my husband has also wrapped. Would you like one? No judgment. And then they start laughing and I'm like, listen, it is your big day too. And I will sell more wraps to men than I do women, like, full disclosure, because men want to be pretty too. But I will walk out with a stack. I had a box, like a box full of wraps. And I'm like, right now, who wants them? You know, here, mother of the bride, you know, maid of honor, your sister, your cousin who's secretly jealous of you. Everyone is going to buy wraps and everyone's going to leave there with the wrap. And someone asked before, like, well, how do you close? I would love, this is basically a $25 sample right now that you're going to get. You're going to try it. I know you're going to love it. My face is right here. You're going to call me. And the best thing is I'm not going to blow up your phone. You're going to blow up mine. when you have these amazing results, and I'm going to set you up with an amazing plan. Also, I'm at booth 406. Right when you walk in, take a left, and you're going to have samples of everything. You can taste everything. And also, I'm going to have facials there as well. If you want to try those out, or we can do a bridal party. We can go meet up with your bridesmaids, with your mom, with your sister, your aunts, and everyone's going to have a facial before the wedding. That's how fast I speak. Only faster, louder. I have 30 seconds to sell myself, and I will sell my personality because that's what I do. I will gather up everyone. I will speak to rooms and crowds. Everyone's going to want to rap, I promise you. And if they don't want to rap, they're going to want the keto energy. Regardless, 406 is where I'm at, and I know I'm going to see you there. And then they'll remember, like, oh, you're that crazy Mexican girl who yelled at me. Yes, I am. Crazy Mexican girl.
Because it's all about that impression. And that's kind of what Jalise was talking about. Like, you have a very short span to kind of make that impression for people. Somebody asked if we sign loyal customers and members at events. We most definitely do, especially during the $20 promo sign up. We absolutely do. So especially like some of the wording that we've used, like for brides, we will put up like a sign that says, how are you going to pay for your wedding? ? Ask us. And they will straight up ask us like, well, what do you mean? Like, and I'll ask them, I'm like, how are you financing your wedding? Like, I'll start talking to them, when are you getting married? They'll say, 2 years from now I have to save up for it. I'm like, oh, well, are you guys saving up? Like, how are you paying for your wedding? Like, how are you doing this? And we've had several girls join because, well, one, they're like, I could spend $25 on a single wrap, or I could spend $20 on a business and get a box of wraps. Like, to me, they're just like, that makes sense. Plus, they are wanting to plan a wedding. Like, I don't know if y'all know, but weddings are freaking expensive. I know mine was. So it gives them an opportunity to make some of that money. And then you guys, please, for the love of God, if you're going to do an event with teammates, do it with people that you like. Because they will know if y'all feeding off each other's energy, people want to have fun. So like, please, I hope this doesn't come out wrong, but like, we're so like this, and all we care about is what's happening here, that we forget that people want to talk to human beings. And like, we want to hang out and we want to see people, and people want to feel that energy. So yes, we absolutely do find potentials. That happens. We don't do drawing slips, but we do always do a raffle. And that is how we make sure that they sign up. They have to give us their name, their phone number. And I'll kind of, when I get to follow up, I'll explain, but their name, their phone number. And if we had a fit bar, they need to write down what their fit bar favorite is. And the reason for that is because when we follow up with them, we want to know what products they liked. We do use, the catalog. We'll circle what products that they liked. We'll literally build a loyal customer package right then and there. So all of those things, we do that. I can't really tell you how much inventory to bring with you. I like exclusivity. So like, we have yet to bring, well, except for one. There's one expo for sure where we bring a lot because we've gradually over time sold a lot there. But traditionally, we want to sell out. For one, because this business is great in that you don't need product. So like, unless you want to have somebody walk away with something, you don't have to. I don't know if you guys realize this, but you can make retail sales off your website and it will ship directly to them. You never have to purchase a product if you don't want to, okay? However, we like the idea of selling out because we're able to then say, you know what, all of our samples sold out because they're such hot tickets, but we can build you a package. And then you're able to build them a package right then and there. The idea is like, I love the feeling of when my team calls me and they're like, hey, we have a big expo, like, do you have any product? And I'm like, girl, we got completely cleaned out last week. That's your goal. Your goal is like to not have, like, I don't know what we're going to do next month for expo season. We better start placing orders because we're all cleaned out. And that's the goal. That's what you want. We're like, oh boy, we're pushing it. Like, getting a little scary. What's the most important thing?
Someone asked you. Sorry.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Someone had asked like before, like, how do you close or how do you sign LCs? The most important thing you can do when it comes to signing people on the spot is you need to ask them what would you like help with, like physically, financially, and you need to listen. Because someone who weighs 100 pounds and, hasn't gone to the restroom, their answer isn't a wrap. Their answer is going to be like the probiotic or greens, something to help their GI tract. From there, when they hear you and the care that you take, they want to sign up. When I'm like, so honestly, I'm going to, steer you away from this, and that. Actually, I need you to taste this. This is our green sample. How do you feel about it? We have, chocolate, berry, and orange. And then from there, speaking to them and the care that you put in and those, honestly, maybe 30 seconds to a minute will make them want to sign up. I'm like, actually, right now, I'll either have my iPad or my phone. I can get you set up with that, and you'll receive your package in about 3 to 5 business days. Or if you would like faster shipping, that's an option too, depending on what it is, their situation. Just having it right then and there gets them to be like, all right, she's listening to me, then these products are going to work because she's not, just selling me something that's basic. Here, I have this back here, buy it, you need it. No, I'm listening to you. I'm like, actually, this, and this, I wouldn't recommend this. I recommend this one. Try this, let me know what you think. And that care that you put in that short span of time, you basically take what will take you 2 to 3 weeks on social media or 7 to 8 follow-ups, and you do it in 30 seconds. They feel that genuine connection. They know that you care, and you are able to build that relationship right then and there, and they want to sign up. Sorry.
No, you're fine. So this will be our last question before we go to the male perspective, because I think that's also really important. My husband and Nick, they do the expos with us, and their voice, I think men are so underheard in this business, but let me tell y'all, they bring the heat. Somebody asked, what is the most important thing to bring to an expo? In my opinion, the most important thing is to make sure you have something to sign people up with. If you do not have a phone that has really good reception or an iPad or something, like I can't tell you how many times in the beginning I screwed up by not having a way to sign people up, because if they want to buy something, they're going to do it right then and there. So do not forget to bring, because you can sell yourself. Like don't forget to bring the thing to sign people up with. Okay. So Sally, thank you so much. You were so awesome. I'm going to take it over to Nick, and we want to know real quick, where's he at? Where'd he go? Nick, say something. So you pop up.
I'm right here.
There you go. I see ya. What is up, my friend?
You.
Hi.
What's going on?
So we want to know, how do you capture the male market at an expo?
How do I capture the male market at an expo? Well, it's pretty much the same thing the ladies were saying too. I mean, you just come out having fun. You just come out being yourself. Like this last event that I worked, I saw this guy just leaning up on the wall, and I just went over and I started, a simple conversation with him. Asked him how his day was going and everything like that. And that got him pretty much interested into what we were doing too, because it was just funny that he was just standing right in front of our booth when he could have chose the muffin booth or the cupcake booth, but he was just right there. So I just went over, just broke the ice, made a simple question. That's it. Asked how his day was going, and that got him interested on what we were selling. He came over, he tried some samples, tried some greens, keto coffee, and that was it. He took the information, and I got his information, and now we're buddies on Facebook.
See, I love that. So Justin wanted me to make a few comments for him. He's in a class today, but he wanted to mention that having it's a great way for husbands to get involved. And the way that my particular husband got involved in expos, and honestly, how Nick got involved is I was like, man, we need somebody to do the heavy lifting. And so we called up Nick and I'm like, hey, are you available? Like, we're going to be in LA, like where he lives. Like, I need some help. Like, do you want to come? Like, also Nick speaks Spanish, and it was in the heart of LA where I knew a lot of people who spoke Spanish. I don't speak Spanish. So I feel like, one, Nick brings that extra spice because he is bilingual. And so he's able to not just connect with the male perspective, but also the families that are bilingual. So that made a huge plus for us. But Justin got involved because I needed setup. And so I kind of how I coerced Araceli and Jaleesa, I coerced my husband by being like, oh, babe, I really just need your help. And then he got there, and he didn't want to leave his wife alone, because he just wouldn't do that. So he starts seeing me talk to people, and then they want to get involved and they want to help. And when I did that first event with Nick and we all prayed together, it was awesome to see men in the business be able to talk about the products that work for them. And so that's my next question is when you're talking to, maybe it's women who want to talk about their husbands or men in general, what kind of products do you think stick out more with men than not necessarily not with women, but what products do you think men are more gravitated towards, and which ones do you kind of talk to them more about?
I talk to them. Well, I talk to them pretty much about everything. I pretty much just ask them first off what their goals are, and then I just go based off of that. I also share my personal experience on what I've used, and I show them my picture as well, my before and after. So that's really big. Keep track of your progress so you can show other people and they can relate to you. So that's what I do. One of the biggest products that I think a lot of men are interested, now are interested are in the keto coffee, the keto energy. You know, the keto energy is great for a pre-workout. But also before the keto products, I mean, the vitamins were good. The New You was good. The ThermoFit was good. And those products are still good too, even the greens. But one of the biggest selling points I think, or that helps me sell, is sharing my personal experience.
So I want to make a very important point. Nick said that literally the exact same things the girls did, which means that there is no different approach to approaching the groom than there is to approaching the bride, because they have goals too. And that is essentially what Nick is saying, is that, you know, for him and really for my husband, and honestly for all of us, because we're not ignoring the groom, or we're not ignoring the dad if you're at like a mom group or wherever you are, that they have goals too. And like, the husbands might look skeptical, but like Nick was saying, offer them that keto coffee sample. Like, hey, you heard of keto? Or, you know, here, you know, do you want to try it? So I think that's really great. I wanted to make sure that we made that point, because I think people think there's like some secret special sauce to men, but there isn't. It's the same questions. We're asking the exact same things. So I love that. One last question. We want to know if you could give advice to any new male distributor who may want to start in belly to belly, what would you suggest for them?
My suggestion is have fun with it. Keep it simple. You don't have to overcomplicate anything. There's no special script that you have to say. I mean, you could just keep it simple. One of the things I say is, hey, you know what? When I go up to them and I would say, you know what? I just want to share this coupon with you. I'm doing a contest with my team, and I'm trying to give away as many coupons as I can. And then can I take a picture with you, you know, to show proof that I'm giving away the coupons? So I'll snap a picture with them, exchange information, and that's pretty much it. It's just a matter of keeping it simple. Don't overcomplicate it, and just have fun with it.
I love that. I really do want to give Nick a shout out. At our Ruby retreat last year, Nick, we did a blitzing contest, and he submitted more photos than some of our girls did. So it really is just about getting out of your comfort zone and knowing that there is most definitely a market for men. And I feel like we don't reach out, and we don't basically, I feel like we don't invite them into our business enough, because you guys, some of my best clients are men. Like, they are so to the point. If they want it, they want it, and they'll just buy it right then and there. So I want to thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I cannot wait to see you for conference. I'm so excited. So, okay, I am going to try not to keep you too long, okay? I see there's a bunch of questions, but I want to talk about fortune in the follow-up, okay? A little bit about me and my husband. This year, we have made $71,000 in wrap and keto cash. And I got the square to prove it, y'all. It has been insane. We were able to put that money down on our house. And how? Y'all, I know people are like, how are they doing this? So everything that our team talked about is everything that we're doing. We are getting out there and before the event and talking to people. We are making sure that our presence is known in the Expo community. When there are new Expos, y'all, they know who we are. And so that's what it is about. If you want to do whole nother level, like if you're on here and you're like, I need to start at tier 1, do it. Because it took me about 6 months to really, really get in a good groove and be able to go from like tier 1 and tier 2 to the big stuff, you know? Don't overstretch yourself, okay? Do what's within your means and do it so well that people know your name, okay? That's how we started, and that's what we did. We put that entire $70,000 down on our house that we just bought, and we were super excited. So it is out there and it is possible. I would say that for me, some of the things that I feel are my strengths are definitely being the hype man. I feed off of my team's energy. So when they're like hyped up, I'm hyped up. And we do things like, I've literally stood on top of a table to be like, we're rapping live. Who wants to see us rap? There was a time in my life when I was afraid to public speak. I would literally have paper clips in my hands, like twirling them. So it's okay. Like if you're shy, you're going to break out of your shell. We will go out and build relationships before the expo, like Araceli was talking about. That is where we make most of our sales, is before the expo even starts, y'all. We'll go out there, we make those relationships, we talk to people, but like we make our voice a megaphone. And it's very nerve-wracking, it's scary, but it is awesome. So go build those relationships, do those things. But I want to talk to you guys about fortune in the follow-up, okay? I was just talking to a really good friend of mine last night about Expos, and I was telling them, you know what, this last year, 60% of the loyal customers that I personally have signed have come from Expos, okay? So how do we follow up? Like, what does that look like? This is my follow-up. I am also kind of a crazy OCD, like I'm a red-green. I will figure out a way to, like, if I can make money somewhere, I'll do it. So my first way is, after we divvy everything up, I'm gonna show you guys, this is like my precious, like categorizing little, where's my contacts? Oh my God. All right, this is what I do. Everybody gets assigned an emoji, okay? This is from Canada. Oh, there we go. Oh, okay. So see, this person's got a Canadian flag and a little person's face. Everybody from my Canadian expo got the same thing. We put them in my phone. It has a little Canadian flag, a person's name, and number 1, because I know I'm going back to Canada, okay? We like killed it there. Well, every expo has that. Let's see if this thing will, I don't know why this is like this. Why is this being so crappy? Somebody, there we go. All right, so this one is for Tampa. I did one in Tampa. So it's like palm tree and a little, turn the brightness down. Gotcha, see? Okay, be smarter than the phone. There we go. All right, cool. Anyways, so I categorize them based on emoji, okay? And then what I do is I upload those contacts into the Connect app, all right? If you guys aren't using the Connect app, you are just at a disadvantage, all right? Because then the Connect app, I can message them back to back to back to back, okay? I can message 300 people, 400 people in like 10 minutes, okay? So you can then upload them. You can create a list inside your Connect app for a specific expo. You can drop them in there. You can message them all at once. Here's another thing that's super, super important. You need these people in your phone. Take the time out of your day to put them in your phone. You wanna know why? You can connect your contacts to Facebook and to Instagram and to Snapchat, and you're gonna be able to connect with these people on social media. I try to get people into my phone, like my husband and my niece help me put numbers in my phone. And I try to get them into my phone within like 72 hours at the very most. It depends, like if we're doing back-to-back-to-back expos, then maybe not that fast. But this way, like they remember your face. I want them to remember who I am. And so then they'll see me pop up on their social media. And this is how like my Facebook following has grown exponentially, okay? So that is like the best way to follow up. Also, at the actual expo, like the girls kind of talked about, we do a raffle, but we also, especially for brides, we do a lot of wrap parties. Like we do a lot of facial parties because we offer a thing called a bridal facial parties or whatever. And what we tell them is the bride gets a facial for free. They get the whole facial for free, and all of their guests get that same facial for $25. And we're gonna bring the cleanser, the toner, the peel, and the face mask. And we'll be there for about an hour. We usually do that with their bridal shower. This is awesome because the maid of honor is like, yes, I have something to do. And 2, you know you're making cash. We take a deposit on site. We can book it there, or they can contact us at a different time. But I like write all of my notes and all that stuff. And so when I follow up, take good notes. You know, write down the stuff that they talked about, write down the stuff that they liked. So it makes follow-up easier, all right? I've signed over 600 loyal customers this year. Actually, probably about 600. Like I said, 60% of those came from expos. They came from leads. They came from being in front of people. I use my social media. My Facebook is so they can fall in love with me. I want them to see that I am a human being and I am a real person. They can go to my Instagram. I'm a real person. I have to say this. Please stop posting like green bling and like buy $25 wraps from me. Please don't do that. Because when people go to your page, they want to know that you're a real person and that you want to get to know them. And that's what I love about the combination of belly to belly and social media. Like merge the two together and don't be afraid, okay? So as far as some of the things that I say, because I know that that's what you guys really want. You guys want to know, like, what are we saying? So when I follow up with them, I'll say, hey, Jaleesa, it's Nicole from, I say Keto Works now, because we have a Keto Works banner, and I feel like it leaves a better taste in people's mouth. And I'm not going to lie, that's the truth. So I'll say, hey, it's Nicole from Keto Works. I met you at such and such. I met you at the Las Vegas Bridal Expo. I was going through my paperwork, and I remembered that you were interested in a facial party. I wanted to see if you were ready to schedule that or if you wanted to talk about it. They usually respond. If they don't respond, I'll be like, hey, not sure if you, like a few days later, hey, or on Friday, because I do follow up Friday. I'll be like, hey, not sure if you saw my message, but I went ahead and added you on social media, not trying to be a stalker. I want people to laugh, like get a little bit of laughter, okay? If they don't respond after the third message, then honestly, you guys, like, I kind of just like let it stay. I might send a Bitmoji, like my little creepy Bitmoji that's like looking out at the plant or something. But after 3, then I'm just like, okay, like they'll contact me or I'll see them on social media or whatever, right? When they do respond, yeah, I want to talk about the facial party, or I want to, or I'll be like, I noticed that you were at our fit bar. You said your favorite was our chocolate greens. I can, I'll tell them like I can build a package for them, or I'd love to. I never talk about the 3-month commitment because I want to know what their goals are. So say, I noticed that you really liked our greens. I wanted to see what your goals were. Are you, I usually try to write like it's the wife or it's the mother of the bride or it's whoever. But I never have to talk about this 3-month commitment because I'm building them a package. And that's what I do through text messages. And I tell them straight out, like, all right, well, if your goal is to lose 35 pounds before your wedding is in 4 months, like we can do that. We're going to do the first month this, the second month this, the third month this, the fourth month, we're going to wrap. We're going to wrap right up to your wedding. And I think wording is so important. One, because like all the girls and Nick were talking about paying attention to what people need. What do they need? Okay. You need to bring value to speaking to them. And this goes with just in general, like when you're talking to people in general, our team builds packages, and that's why our customers order for longer. We tell them we're building you a package, and then when they're done with their package, we'll be like, perfect. You can keep taking this for maintenance, and then you earn perk points. And so those are some of the things that we say when we're following up with people. We also offer, if they're like, I'm not sure I'm ready to order yet, or I'm not sure, then I will offer a host-to-host. I won't offer the host-to-host until after, like that's not the first thing I jump out the gate with. It's the last thing, because if they're not willing to throw a party, purchase something right then and there, or do a host-to-host, then there's just I don't know why I'm wasting my time. Like if they literally say no to all 3 of those, then I'm just like, okay, well you can sit and follow me. And I'm being honest. I know that some of the people on my team aren't like that aggressive yet, but I've been doing this a little bit longer. And so I feel like your time is so valuable. So, so that's kind of how I follow up, but it is so, so important. You have to get people's phone number. I don't care about the email. Like you don't care about that stuff. You have to get their phone number because that's how you find them on social media. If you can't find them on social media, like, I don't know about you guys, but I have 65 unread text messages. So like, I don't necessarily always answer my phone, but I am on it cracking on Facebook and Instagram. And I figure most people, like, especially if you text them out of the blue, they may or may not answer. But if they see your face on your newsfeed and you are, really, you're embracing what your life is like, not every post needs to be, it works. It needs to be what your life is. What is your life? What the heck do you do outside of this? I read, right now I'm like having, moments with my kids and doing like, we're going to Disneyland this weekend. I'm super excited. So with that being said, follow up, it's just about organization. It's about organization. And I actually, while the girls were talking, I found a sign-up sheet. Oh, where did it go? Oops. Okay, just kidding. I thought never mind. I don't have a sign-up sheet. But it's really basic and it's really easy. So just name, event, people's phone numbers, what they like for Fit Bar. So as far as, like I said, as far as follow-up, you have to have their phone number and you need to connect it to your Facebook, okay? So I'm gonna go through and answer some of these questions because y'all had some really good questions. And so this is like, I can spend like 10 minutes answering questions. So whatever your last minute questions are, drop them in the chat. Last but not least, I want to thank my team for getting on here and for pouring into you guys because I cannot tell you how blessed I am to have such an amazing group of people who do amazing things every single day. And I cannot wait to see you all up at the White Couches Ambassadors because y'all are going to the top. I love you. I had to give my peeps some shout out. Okay, so we talked about splitting things. I will send out, you know what? I will post the sign-up sheet in our VIP page and you can ask your upline to get it from there because I think that'll be easier. So I will do that. If somebody walks past your booth, what's your pitch? Everyone's kind of different, but for me, I straight up just be like, hey, have you ever heard of keto? Or I'll compliment them. If it's a guy, I straight just ask like, have they heard of keto? And we just started out with new like little uniforms. They're really cute. They look like a Starbucks barista. And that's like, we use those pockets to put all of our stuff in. And so I'll be like, do you want a sample of coffee? Like, do you want to try, like, have you ever tried greens? My husband isn't as like crazy out, like forward as I am, but there's definitely times I've left him at the booth and just kind of like watched from afar. And he asks the same questions, the same thing. It's just, he doesn't like kind of get in people's faces. I do. So whatever your preference is. We talked about how to get involved. If you have an event coming up, somebody said they're shy, but I have an event coming up for Saturday. Like remembering why you joined and really pushing those limits and not being afraid, just try to make sure that you have some samples. If you don't, contact your upline. Maybe they can spot you like some greens and some keto coffee, like, and see, somebody did ask, how do we prep our keto coffee? One of two ways. If it's cold outside, we're doing hot keto coffee. Depending on the area, we may do cold. But you want a frother if you're doing cold keto coffee. We basically make it first in shaker bottles and then we pour it over ice. It's harder when you put the keto powder on top of ice. It gets real just like filmy because of the butter. So we mix it all first and then we pour it over ice. For hot, we get like, they're like 32-ounce thermoses. We'll go to Starbucks in the morning before our, I say shift, but before our shift, and just have them fill it up with water. And then we basically just pour them and we use a long frother or a long stir stick, like a bar stir stick, and then we'll put the frother in. I don't think anybody said this, but we make a keto coffee and a keto coffee with chocolate greens because that's an upsell. And the packages, it's all about packages, I'm telling you. It's all about packages. Are you used to doing drawing slips? No, we do the one sheet and then I will count it up. If we have like 100 leads on it, I'll go to random number generator and it'll pop up a number and then I'll count down and that's the person who wins. I like easy. We talked about what the most important, there's a lot of important things. I feel like having a way to sign people up and having a way to, and having samples, like to me, that's the most important thing. I don't want to give any, I personally don't believe in giving away things for free, but that's the accountant in me. So that's why they get a 2-ounce sample. Like we're not handing them out like full sticks of greens. The only time somebody gets a sample like that, like Jaleesa talked about, is if they already order something, because we already made money off of them. And that's building a customer relationship, or unless they buy it. So you are important, like your money's important. Stop giving things away for free. Just stop. We talked about how to find events. Do you offer a sample first when they walk up? Most definitely. Most definitely. I do, because it's the fit bar right then and there. So, well, I guess it depends on the person. It depends on what you're asking. So I guess it depends. But if you mean like a sample from the fit bar, for sure, because that's why we're sampling them. I don't want to get stuck with like a bunch of unused keto coffee. But I know that my girls have several different approaches, so if they don't mind kind of answering that question in the chat. But that's what makes us beautiful, because we're all slightly different. But yeah, I'll tell them like straight up, like, have you ever tried keto coffee? Or you look like you need a cup of coffee. You want to try some? But that's me. Cool. Jacqueline kind of talked about not standing behind the booth. So I do a small event by myself. I can definitely, like, you need to know what you can handle. I would not suggest, like, if you're a brand new person who's never spoken to people about this business, please do not go sign up for a bridal event that has 5,000 people on it. Don't do it. Please don't. Because not only will you stress yourself out, like, you'll probably never want to do this again. So I just ask you not to. But I did our HOA events, our small events. Like, I know I can handle personally myself with no other help an event that has up to maybe 1,000 people, because you have to think 1,000 people are going to be there all day long, essentially. So it just depends on what you can handle, how long you've been in the business. If you feel like you want to do it with other distributors, please do it with people that are on your team that you trust and you have a good connection with. Okay, so we do try to do them as a group when they're big, like when we go to the Canada 3-day Expo, there's like 6 of us. So that's important. As far as business cards go, they either get a Blitz card. So if they buy something, they're going to have our name and our info on it. They don't need a Blitz card. Stop. Like, we don't want to waste money. If they don't buy something, then they get a Blitz card, or they'll get a product catalog, but they don't get both because we don't want to waste money. So that's important. We sign them up online. I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm a presidential and I don't know what the LC form is. Like, I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm embarrassed to say that. I should probably know that. But no, we sign them up on our app. My girls are laughing at me, but I don't even know what that is. I probably should though. No, I sign them up right from the app. So I just go into the app and they sign up right then and there. I don't log into eSuite. Like, I just have them do it right on the app. So how do I price it? Oh, price the sample bags. We just happen to like even numbers. It could just be the accountant in me. $25 has generally been the go-to. So that's like 5 days of keto coffee, or it's 2 days of keto coffee and, 2 days of collagen and like 1 green and 1 energy or whatever. So it just depends on you. We like $25 because it's easy to split. Like, if you have, it's easy to. So I like $25. Vistaprint, we use Vistaprint for most everything. What do we raffle off? It's usually either a single wrap or a single sample pack of $25. That's it. Most of the big expos you do, like, you have to have a door prize. And so we will do their door prize that we participate in, and it's usually a wrap or a single sample pack. And then we'll also do our own at the booth, because I want them to sign up. I want their information. Like, I need it. I have to have it. Just most people, in my experience, we used to have a wrap room, and we found that most people were intimidated by that. They did not want to walk around with the wrap on. They didn't want a random person touching them. When I first started, like, people were uncomfortable enough as it is having my crazy, like, self up in their face. So they definitely did not want me touching their body, which I'm fine with, because I don't want to touch either, because I'm socially awkward. So we don't usually wrap them on site. And we tell, if they buy a wrap, we make them give us their info, and it's the person's responsibility. Like, it's my responsibility to follow up with whoever bought my wraps. So imagine Expo season that's coming up in January is, they can hear you. Sorry, my mom's help stepping in to help it. So, okay, no, we don't wrap them there. It gives us an opportunity to follow up with them again. It's my responsibility to reach out to them. And so I will. I'll be like, hey, have you used your facial wrap yet? Have you used your body wrap yet? So, okay. Oh, good. I love it. People are like talking to each other about where they live. That is great. Like we're all over the place. So let's see. Oh yeah, now with immunity, I'm waiting for mine to come in the mail. I think I may sample that too. Not sure yet, but I might. Okay, that's for different training. I think that's what draws people to me is my confidence. If you got it, if you got confidence, girl, you need to get on with it. Like you need to go. So you need to go be out in front of people. They'll feel that energy and they'll feel that confidence and they'll love it. I contact everybody on the sheet. Like we split it up between us, like we'll split up the sheets before we leave that night. And like if one sheet has predominantly like Nicole people on it, then I'll keep that sheet. If it has mostly Jaleesa, like, you know, we'll leave it at the sheets that way. But I contact every single person and I do it exactly how I said. I add them to social media and then I'm going to go ahead and from there, I'm going to message them and say, hey, I noticed you like this product. And then after that, if they're not ready yet, I'll be like, offer the party. And then after the party, I offer the host post. Okay. Cool. I think we answered most everybody's questions. There are pregnant friendly products. Go to Product Coach and Product Coach will tell you what those are, but they most definitely are. All right. Oh, deposit. A deposit for a facial party, I require 50% upfront. So if they tell me that they're gonna have 10 girls, like if the maid of honor says, I'm gonna have 10 girls, I'm like, okay, I require five people up front. Like I need that for a deposit or we're not coming. If I'm traveling, I love this option because it allows my local team to make money. And if you're a leader and you're like, I want to travel, I want to see my team, this is the opportunity for us to see our team in different places or to build a team in that area, you know, because now I need people to go to these facial parties. So I require 50% upfront. Okay, cool, awesome. I just talked about fish parties out of town. Ooh, Jaleesa, I completely forgot. Y'all, we had a late night expo and we did mocktails. It was so fun. It was so fun. We did mocktail hour and we wrote ketones as skinny lemonade and then we did collagen. We did like fruit punch collagen. It was so fun. I loved it. And okay, if you do a door prize, what do you put in your prize since it's a giveaway? Either one little sample thing, like I said, or a wrap. Okay, all right, cool. I think I answered all the questions. So how are you collecting the money? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. If I'm doing the deposit, I send them a Square invoice and they pay that way. Like whoever's gonna be the person who, that, is like the coordinator, I send it to them. Cool? Okay. Cool, I think we answered everything. Thank you guys so much. I know this was like an hour and a half long, but I feel like we answered the most questions that I have been asked. This Expo season, you guys, was unreal. Our team just barely missed 100,000 in wrap and keto cash. And I'm telling y'all right now, you will see us on that stage because we are gonna bring the heat, okay? We love you all so much. If you guys can all follow us on social media. I will post this to my YouTube right now. And like I said, thank you. Yeah. Bye, I love you guys so much, thank you.